Stable housing is critical to everything we do. Stable housing gives you a home base. Think about it. At the end of the day, how many times have you just thought to yourself, oh, I just can't wait to get home? When we gather with friends and family to celebrate, it's usually at somebody's home. Like Dorothy said, there is no place like home. The pandemic really highlighted the importance of safe and stable housing. At the beginning of the pandemic, we were asked to stay home. But how do you stay home if you don't have a home? We had a housing crisis before the pandemic, and the pandemic has not improved that crisis. As Senator Draheim and Senator Port mentioned, we're at least 50 housing units short across the state, and that greatest need is at the 30% area median income or below. 2019 data from DEED shows that on average, someone needs about $33,000 per year to afford, makes $33,000 per year to afford a two-bedroom apartment. And that was 2019 data. Housing costs have gone up, and wages have not gone up. 40% of households of color are cost burden. That means they are paying more than 30% of their income for their housing costs. 56% of people experiencing homelessness said they could not find a home they could afford. About 5 years ago, I met with St. Stephen's. They are a group that deals with homeless shelters and does outreach to the homeless in the metro area. We were talking about, I think we had just toured Dorothy Day or had a discussion on the Dorothy Day shelter. So I was asking them, what do we need in shelters? Do we need more flexibility? Do we need more shelters? What do we need to make it work? And they said, we don't need more shelters. We need that low, deeply affordable housing. We need that 30% AMI housing. Unfortunately, since that time, we have not built that 30% housing. We have not built enough at that level. And so now we need more housing and more shelters. We've had some really good discussions on the Housing Committee. I'd like to thank the staff for their work. They make sure the committee goes smoothly, and I want to thank the staff and Senator Draheim for the work on the bill. We've had some really serious discussions, but we also had a lot of fun. I appreciate Senator Draheim's open communication and willingness to discuss and work on the issues. We have worked to find compromise and find solutions. We need to find solutions. There's some good policy in the bill. The focus to increase and help those in manufactured homes and to increase manufactured homes as an affordable option will be helpful in many parts of the state. It will help people and put people in homes. The focus to increase home ownership in communities of color by putting more money into the workforce home ownership program is helpful, but it's a shift. It's not new money. We are taking from Peter to pay Paul. We can do better. We must do better to reduce the home ownership gap. Home ownership builds wealth. 75% of white families in the Twin Cities own home, while only 25% of black families own their own home. In central Minnesota, 79% of white families own home, and 46% of indigenous and people of color own their homes. This bill is a start. It hopefully will get us closer to reducing those disparity gaps, but we need more. We need creativity, we need outside-the-box thinking, and we need more investments. As Senator Port said, we are getting federal dollars that will help renters stay in their homes. And I'll repeat what Senator Port said, and I believe Senator Draheim said, if you are behind in your rent, I urge you to call renthelpmn.org. renthelpmn.org. On there, there'll be information on what documents you need and how to fill out the application. I encourage you to work with your landlord to fill out that application to get that money. That money is being sent to us to keep people in their homes. If you have questions on the documents, or do I have the right documents, or I lost my job, I don't have a W-2, what information do I need to prove my income level, call 211. 211 United Way for help. They will be able to connect you with the navigator so that you can get that help. I urge landlords to go and register their property and fill out their documentation so it goes smoothly. We need landlords and tenants to work together so that we can keep tenants in the home. This money is coming to us from the federal dollars. We don't usually, from the federal government, we don't usually get that much federal dollars. And again, we want to keep people in their homes. People should not be evicted. The federal money will keep people in their homes, and I appreciate that this bill says that we should use those federal dollars first, but I do have some concerns that the programs don't align. So, we have the Bridges program that helps people with mental health issues, facing mental health issues. Sometimes we give that rent for maybe a year. They apply for a voucher, they qualify for a voucher, but we don't have housing for them. So we don't know if those quite align, so hopefully we will get some guidance from the federal government and can continue to work on this so we get people the help. I also heard there was a bill in finance at some point that dealt with the $2.5 billion that the state will be getting from the feds. I believe that housing was not included in that bill. I understand Senator Rosen laid the bill on the table and had some concerns and was going to continue working on it, and I urge Senator Rosen and the committee and all of us to make housing a priority. Lack of housing and housing instability can be detrimental to people's mental and physical health. Where stable, decent housing improves health outcomes and education outcomes. This isn't a bad bill, but it is not meeting the moment. I will be voting yes, hopefully to get on the conference committee and to continue working with Senator Draheim to find solutions, but I also think we can do more. We are at a moment in history. People are watching, people are talking. There was a New York Times op-ed earlier this week on the disparities in Minnesota. They are talking about the disparities in Minnesota, and that includes housing and home ownership disparities. We need to reduce those disparities. We can do that. We can be creative, we can be bold, and we can find solutions. We need to go big. We need to find solutions so that everyone can go home.